Right, very exciting morning. It's now just after 10 and I'm picking up the 911.
Again, well, we'll shortly be arriving into London Euston. This will be our final stop on today's service.
Right, very exciting morning. It's now just after 10 and I'm picking up the 911. Got to King's Cross an hour early because I was a bit eager and worried about missing the train, but yeah, just got a cab from Peterborough station, now in a little town called Wilmington, and I can see it from here, so yeah, very exciting, very scary. Right, I'll crack on. So, the deal is done, and I'm now the owner of a Porsche 911 996 C4S. I guess I'll give you a quick tour. So, I'm in a lovely part of the country up in sort of near Peterborough, and just settled up and paid for the C4S. So, I bought this through an auction site called collectingcars.com. And they are known, well, I knew them through Top Gear's presenter Chris Harris. He's a motoring journalist that I've been following for years and does some amazing videos on YouTube. But more recently, he was moved over to Top Gear and is the main presenter on Top Gear. He does a podcast called Collecting Cars, and that works in conjunction with the Collecting Cars auction site, so that's how I got this. I wasn't planning on getting this quite yet. I was planning on waiting until I was 45, but it came up at a price I couldn't say no to, and well, I put in a cheeky bid and no one outbid me, so that's what I've got. So it's getting on for 20 years old. This is a 2003 car, and the difference between this and your normal 911, the C4S, the 4 stands for 4-wheel drive. It's all-wheel drive really, but that means you've got the slightly wider rear arches. So it's essentially the turbo body. Get the turbo brakes. Those brakes, they're 13-inch discs, which is the size of the first car I had, had 13-inch wheels, let alone discs. But the main thing on the C4S is this wide rear haunch. It just looks fantastic, and as well as that, you've got this rear strip that goes in between the two brake lights. So yeah, really pleased. It's a fantastic looking car. I've got all my rubbish in there at the minute. I was a little bit panicky, so I bought jumper cables and a tyre pump, and everything's all good. So I've just topped up with fuel, big mileage on it, and I guess the elephant in the room is the Tiptronic rather than manual. I would have rather had a manual, but with my budget that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, we're looking good. And it's clearly a family car. I've got 4 seats. Very practical. I'll probably do a proper, more in-depth video on the C4S at some point. To be honest, it's not really going to work for my reselling channel, so I might start up a new channel. Yeah, I guess I might put together a new channel where I talk a bit more about me, cars, and but not just cars. Like also, as I said, I'm quite frugal when I need to be, but being frugal and careful with my money and being conscious of making financial decisions means that I've had the ability to put together the money to actually get something like this. So I always wanted an air-cooled 911, but the reality is the prices have rocketed completely out of reach. I did quite like the 997 version of a 911, still out of my price range, which meant I basically had the option of a 996. Now, I wasn't always a fan of them, but I've always liked the rear haunches on the C4S, the nice big wide rear, and it just looks mean and amazing. Things that attracted me to this car, whilst I wasn't keen on getting one that was an auto, as I said, beggars can't be choosers, I paid $15,750 for this, which is essentially, it's about 300 quid more than the cheapest Ford Focus you can get on the market. I'd saved up a decent chunk towards it, and I had to borrow some money as well. But my loan repayments, I was already saving £200 a month towards the car, my midlife crisis car. My repayments on the actual loan for the difference, it's a lot less. I'm only paying £150 a month, 155 I think for it, for the loan I borrowed for the balance of the car. As well as the $15,750 sale price, I had to pay a 5% fee to collecting cars, so that immediately went out. That was another 945 quid. Insurance is incredibly reasonable, actually. One of the benefits of becoming an old man. My insurance on this, fully comp, is £260 a year. That's fantastic. So really pleased with that. Where I've got a guy I work with, he's like 23, 24, and he's paying £1,400 a year. So yeah, that is a benefit of getting old. With regards to this car, reasons why I went for this specific one, I wanted the C4S, the wide one. It's got massive mileage, 131,000 miles, which isn't brilliant. However, because on online you can get the full MOT history, you can see at what age the car has done the miles. And this car was basically doing between 10 and 16,000 miles a year for the first big chunk of its life, which meant the majority of the miles this car's covered, up to around the 100,000 mark, was motorway miles. This car's only done 10,000 miles in the last 8 years, so it's gone from being a daily motorway driver to like a garaged queen. So that filled me with a bit of confidence. And then looking at some of the documents that I could see online that the seller had put up, what was good is it covered lots of things, such as the exhaust back boxes have been done recently. They're quite expensive if they've rotted out. A lot of the suspension components have been replaced, and that includes the front suspension top mounts, bump stops and bearings, which notoriously wear out on these. So knowing that that's all been done in the last year or two means I should have some hopefully relatively trouble-free motoring ahead of me. The only big concern is I can't find out if the IMS bearing's been done. That's the intermediate shaft bearing. If that goes, that's a catastrophic failure for the engine. That's about a £10,000 rebuild, basically. And I can't see that that's been done. So I've been in touch with all of the people who've done the servicing and pleaded with them to let me know if they've completed the IMS bearing refit at some point, or upgrade. So I'm still waiting for that back. If it turns out it hasn't been done, I'm just going to go and get it done, just for peace of mind. IMS bearing, it's going to cost me $2,200 to get that done. But once that's done, all in, my cost is still going to be about 19 grand for this car. The cheapest one on the market is about £20,000, and that's without any documentation on IMS bearing done and suspension not being done, etc. So I'll still have paid underpriced for the car that I want. So yeah, really pleased. But yeah, I'm over the moon. So yeah, it's a pretty momentous day for me, considering that I've ended up with a car 2 years early. But yeah, pretty good, isn't it? I'm very happy. I think what I'll do, I'll just finish off. I'll go and start it up and just let you hear the exhaust note, because it sounds absolutely phenomenal. So I'll stick that on now. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I will be paying a lot towards this car using my reselling. So yeah, as you guys know, if you're watching this and you've watched me before, you know that reselling is a part-time gig for me. I've got my day job, which covers the bills and everything else. But that's what reselling's done. It's not paid for this car, but it's accelerated the timeline. I've been able to get this way faster than I would have been able to just relying on my day job. Day job's fine, not a lot left over. By reselling on the side, it means I can pay extra off the mortgage, which means that I should be able to knock 7 years off my mortgage. Great. Upgrade sort of daily things that not daily things, I was going to say daily things and then say wine, but things that we get on a regular basis, so we can get nicer wine each week. And it means I can upgrade the holiday a little bit. We go to we had a nice holiday out in Wiltshire, and instead of getting a standard cottage, we paid for a nicer one. So now reselling has allowed me to get essentially a dream car, and just goes to show, if you're willing to put the effort in and you make good decisions, it can lead you to some really good places. So appreciate you watching this, and I'll give you details on a new channel if I decide to go down that route. But hopefully a bit more about this. It'll be me fixing things, reviews on stuff, and so basically non-reselling stuff. But one of the things I will go through is how I think about my finances. As I said, I'm frugal on certain things, which gives me the ability to buy things that I like when I want to, such as this. So yeah, I'll talk about how I invest my money. None of this like short-term speculating. It's about long-term growth and planning. I've got kids. Both my kids, they've got pensions. My youngest is Archie's only 7 years old, and he's already had a pension for 2 years. So yeah, I want to give them the best chance I can. Yeah, I'll just do a quick video of the exhaust, and then that's it. So I shall see you soon.